Rightio. Look at the camera instead of looking at myself. Right, the pretty much everything in the front of Jazza has been pulled out that I need to pull out to do the inspections and the repairs that I need to do. To my right here you can see just lots and lots of bits of ply. That's how she's built. It's all in reasonable nick. Some of it I've broken a little bit to get it out, and a little later I'll show you all the other guff that's up in the V-berth. But yeah, it's something to see, that's for sure. Right, yeah, let's get stuck into that. Rightio, let's have a look at this mess. So just here is where I discovered a thin spot. Basically the rust was really hard when I was chipping at it, and I chipped around the edges and then it got wet, so I stopped chipping at it. I've drilled holes in the bulkheads to the fore and aft of it, and put a bit of timber there and packed it up with other timber, lock wired it down, and I've got some basically gap filler. It's hopefully not going to be too difficult to get back out. When next time I slip it, I'll cut it out and weld some new steel in there. So yeah, this has been swept but not washed. These sorts of areas were bubbled up pretty bad. That could probably use a bit more chipping. That's sort of the style of damage that was around the place. Just out of interest, these little things here are actually like where the salt has I don't know, I guess condensed into the steel, and I guess that's the beginnings of a pit, or it is a pit. And all these areas where I've chipped it and swept it clean, a lot of the areas are bleeding this this salty water, I guess. And you know, I've got some of this B50 salt remover cleaner. So after I degrease wash it, I'm going to give it a lap with that, and hopefully I'll be able to dissolve all the salt out of the steel before I hit it with the phosphoric acid rust converter and then prime it. So you know, there is a bit of a process to be followed here. I really do wish I had a needle scaler to do a nicer job of this stuff, but from what I know, needle scalers use a ton of air, and I don't really want to put my batteries and the inverter and, well, my compressor under that much stress, because I'm fairly confident that the chip hammer does the job. It's just a little bit, you know, it's a lot more labor intensive, but it's a trade-off between time, effort, and result, and I don't think the result's that much different. And for the amount that I have to do, I really don't think it's worth. Well, it probably is worth getting a generator and a needle scaler, and possibly even a better compressor than I've got. So just so I could demonstrate some of the stages that are going on here, we've got chipped and swept through this station, if you like. This one here's just swept, so it hasn't been chipped. Got bubbles of rust like that. They don't take long to chip away. Into these corners here are a little challenge, but it really doesn't take that long. The needle scaler probably can't get into that sort of stuff anyway, so the chip hammer doesn't actually take that much time to do this open stuff. It's this stuff that takes time. So I'm really not sure if the needle scaler's got economy to it, but I haven't used one, so I don't know. So yeah, that's where the toilet pedestal would have been. No toilet leaks down this section. No shower leaks down this section, and the results are clear. Like the hull's still in reasonable condition. Like there's a decent bubble there, but it's not that bad. Like compared to what was going on over there. This section here, this I've only just pulled this section of floor up, and I've left it just to give you a look at what goes on. None of the other sections had this sort of stuff in there. I'm not 100% sure what it was for. I'm guessing there was packing between the ply and whatever maybe was under it. This is the only bit of floor I've got left to get up. This little situation here is a common situation throughout the whole demolition, if you like. We've got steel or 304 stainless, maybe 316, probably 304 screws going through the ply into some frame, whatever, timber. It's more just to have a look at how she's put together. I think it's a fairly efficient design. Economy of effort, economy of material, and obviously strength and reliability is there. Yeah, I don't understand what's with all these coins in here, but the random stuff you find in boat hulls. Guff. The V-berth really shows its size when once you start filling it up with bibs and bobs. It's like a garden shed up here. This is a great little tool. It's actually built to cop a little bit of a beating. Fairly sturdy handle on it, a good solid edge, and you can sharpen it. If I had this at the start, when I was removing the frame for the door to the bathroom, I probably would have got away with not breaking it. That's going to chew up a lot of time when I go to rebuild the boat. Yeah, just when you're doing a demolition on a job like this, you really want to employ as much economy of effort as you can. Like with these screws down here, I could muck around and try and back them out, but I'm going to chisel them off. Rightio, here we have the chip hammer action. This is just a chip hammer you'd use with your welding. So I've got this GoPro set up at a 0.5 second per frame time lapse, and I haven't figured out how to adjust it, so it's really ripping along fast. It actually takes a fair bit of time to do this, and a bit of effort. It's really good if you can use both hands, be a bit ambidextrous, give your right hand a bit of a break, and yeah, as you go, you sort of clean up and keep doing it. I've pointed at a couple of wet spots as you're chipping through the lumps of rust. Some of the lumps of rust have got water in them, and you chip them, and it's usually pretty obvious that they're not scary ones. Usually if they're soft, then it's just a bubble of water. It's the really hard stuff that gets wet after you chip it that's scary. I've used a couple other tools there to make things work.